What's your viewpoint on love?
I remember you asking me this question even back then. I try to keep my private life extremely private. Media has still continued calling me a name which is not there in my official name. That little boy, that sweet boy, to learn that he is not going to get any pleasure out of doing this. See, I'm all about breaking rules. I'm also about breaking my own rules.
So what you're saying is your luck that the films did well.
If not 100%, at least an 80%.
But you're now the number one heroine in Malayalam.
I'm not. I have to know that I am reciprocating the same enthusiasm and passion that the director is putting in.
Film actress.
They're not public property. I don't believe in that.
Welcome to Red Carpet. Here we have with us Parvathy, who's riding a wave. She's been having a series of hits and it's been a rocking 2015 for her. And I think she's going to start 2016 also on a big note. Welcome to the show, Parvathy.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
So, 2015, great year. Ennu Ninde Moideen.
Charlie.
And end the year with Charlie.
Yes.
What a role, Tressa.
That's true. It's been an overwhelming year. Also, it marked my 10th year in the industry.
10 years in the industry. But I think you came in 2006, your first film.
I started acting in 2005. So
okay.
Technically my work starts.
Yeah.
So see, in an industry where we measure success with successes as in hits and flops, for me, my success has always depended on how well I've acted.
What's your viewpoint on love?
I remember you asking me this question even back then. you seem to be, he's very good at like asking about love. Love is a necessity.
At the time, I think you were crazily in love with somebody.
I still am.
You are in love?
Why is this news? I think you are in love too, Sridhar sir, aren't you? I'm pretty sure a million people out there.
Are you on social media?
I am on social media. I used to be in a space where I thought that social media is all such a venomous, poisonous space.
Yeah, but how do you handle trolling?
I don't. I ignore.
Recently, I think...
that wasn't trolling. That was a very ignorant, poor little boy who was not educated well enough. I don't call him... I don't say that he was the only one to be, blamed. Yeah. He said something obscene on my Instagram account and I had to make sure that he was made an example of, sadly, for him. But
that was a beautiful way you pulled him down.
That's it. I mean, again, the whole point I did mention in my post too that my intention wasn't to pull him down. I want that little boy, that sweet boy, to learn that he is not going to get any pleasure out of doing this. And I was sad to know that in such a young and tender age, cyberbullying is so rampant.
Bangalore Naatkal.
Yeah.
That's a very important film for you. First question is, why did you take Bangalore Naatkal? Normally, I don't think you will do a remake, but why did you take?
See, I'm all about breaking rules. I'm also about breaking my own rules. Yeah. I don't want to be categorized in my own head either. See, I'm always against tags and categories. Like earlier you asked me, I just want to come in through that space to answer this question. You said, how do I choose non-commercial films? To be honest, when I listen to a story, I don't think even a director can predict its success or failure. So how can an actor ever know if it's going to be a commercial success or an artistic film? All I know is the intention of the filmmaker and my intentions. And my intention is to tell the story as truthfully and as vibrantly as possible to make people think, to make them provoke into thinking, into acting, reacting and reflecting on their own lives.
No, at the press meet you were telling that about the very essence of the remake is the same.
Is the same. And that I think is something that I learned by doing this film. Because I think I would have been judgmental with no reason if I hadn't done this film. So when I kept saying no remakes, I started asking myself, why Parvathy? Why are you even like putting that kind of a... I mean, do you know why? And I didn't know why. So I wanted to find out why. And I thought Sarah is the safest space for me to go to.
Okay. Is it the reason why you don't take a normal commercial cinema where there's a lot of singing around and all that?
Okay. When it comes to singing around, I can't quite help it, but I have never really been much of a fan in at least performing that. Because I don't believe in cutting to a foreign locale and running around in a particular designer wear. I don't know what that does for the film.
But even in Marian, you were brilliant.
Yeah, but if you notice in Marian, there isn't a particular song where we have gone out of character.
No.
We haven't danced suddenly she hasn't become fairer, suddenly she hasn't worn see-through saris in Swiss Alps. She has still stuck to who she is. So I try to find teams who cater to, or at least mirror my faith in what cinema should be. Not that I don't enjoy watching others doing it, but I believe there are actresses and actors who do it so well. I don't enjoy doing it, so I will not be doing it so well.
So what you're saying, it's your luck that the films did well?
Yeah, it's my luck or not. I mean, the thing is, I am equally proud of A City of God, A Poo, a Chennai
But all of them are very good films.
They are very good films, but again, the only thing commercial success does is, for a good film, it reaches a wider audience. So a wider audience gets affected by that story.
And your salary increases?
Of course, I mean that happens, but I don't believe in this huge spiking way of going. I think you have to be responsible with that too, and in that case, I take after a Bahadur and a Prem Nazir and a Nedumudi Venu than any of the actors who exist now. Who actually, if I just have one question to ask. I do a movie, it becomes a huge hit. For the next movie, I ask double the amount that I've asked, and if my next movie tanks, will I come down?
Yeah. And 10 years, 17 films, I think you did. 17 films. And that itself is, I mean, you go by not by the length of the role or what is it.
Absolutely.
You go more for the character you play.
I believe that since I started working with a movie like Out of Syllabus, where I played a supporting character called Gayatri. And since Gayatri to Tessa to reprising Sarah, of course, it's been understanding and getting to know these girls for me than anything else. Of course, it's a job. Of course, there is money involved. Of course, there is a lot of talks about the person who performs is involved. But nothing of those actually holds any value when you go back to your life. So in that way, successes in terms of box office hits or not, I've felt it's been very as successful can be 10 years.
There's also a streak of femininity in all the characters you do, and they're very strong female-oriented characters. For example, Tessa of Charlie, the new film, which is doing wonder business in the metros. How do you really pick up?
I think all my characters, most of them, not all of them, most of them are much stronger than I am. So I think my experience always comes in from, okay, I can learn something from this person, maybe not. And I'm not interested in portraying a character as a strong-headed person, because we all know that we can be brave and weak at the same time. And I want to show moments of clarity and moments of delusion in a character, and that's what makes it interesting for me. And I have also performed in a Vinodayatra where I played a character like Rashmi, who was Mukesh's sister, who runs away, who's a absolutely dumb girl who doesn't want to know anything in life. I've also played her. And so for me, it's about playing not just the same space anymore, characters which I don't agree with. I think with Kanjanamala and Tessa, I have disagreed with them too on many things that they do, or I have not understood most of the things why they do it. It isn't necessary that I agree with my characters, but it is necessary that I agree with what the movie is trying to say.
And how's the script of Bangalore Naatkal? I think
Bangalore Naatkal has the detailing which befits the Tamil culture, but at the same time it has also understood what is universal in the movie, in the story. This kind of love, friendship, those relationships and what does that to you is a universal thought. It can happen in an African village as much as in a metropolitan city. It's all about finding those little detailing which needs to be different according to whether it happens in Cochin or whether it happens in Alvarpet before it moves to Bangalore. So those little memories, like it can't be the Tarvadu video of Kerala. Those little detailings have to be, played with.
Now you are known just as Parvathy. Why did you knock off your tail?
I have said this, I've been saying this for 10 years, that I remember my cousins were messaging me the other day. It's like, how long have you been saying this? And they actually took clippings from my previous interviews online and said, do you know that you said this in 2007 also? I said, yeah, I remember. And the fact that no offense to anybody, that media has still continued calling me a name which is not there in my official name. It's just testimony to how disrespected I was the entire time. And I sometimes feel sorry about that, because I don't feel sorry I don't feel angry at them. I feel sad and disappointed that journalists don't understand that they have to be the carriers of truth. They have to be respectful with the person who's sharing everything with them, than using them for, or ignoring worse, or not even using is all right, but probably ignoring the basics as a person's name. So I decided to come out. I think it was a bar association meeting, and me and Kanjanamala went and saw the movie together that morning, and we had been invited for an event, and we went in and spoke, and I was called on to the days as Parvathy Menon, and that sort of clicked it off. And I said, and there were a lot of media channels present, and I went and very humbly enough I said, please, for the very last time, I hope that I don't have to correct my name. It does not have Parvathy. If you are so so insistent that I should have a last name, in my birth certificate it is Parvathy Tiruvottukottuetta, which is my family name. It's my house name, and it is there in my birth certificate, so ideally everybody is bound to call me by that name. So it's almost a punishment too. Tiruvottukottuetta is pretty much
a very difficult word to pronounce.
So better call me Miss Tiruvottukottuetta from now on, not Miss Menon.
I mean, you've done only 17 films in 10 years.
Yeah.
How do you really go about what's your future films that you're going to take?
See, from the beginning it's been like this. I have mostly been jobless right after a movie's release. I've always been waiting for the new one, and since Charlie's shoot got over, it's been now as
have you signed any new Malayalam movies?
No, I haven't. I haven't signed any Tamil films or Telugu films. I haven't signed any films as
of
now.
Okay. So you're a free person.
I am not a free person actually.
But you're now the number one heroine in Malayalam.
I'm not.
Charlie and
number 1, number 10, number 100 doesn't
make a difference.
Doesn't help me do my job. I still have to go through the grind, don't I? Becoming number 1 doesn't make my job any easier, so it's of no value.
That was great talking to you.
Thank
Parvathy.
you so much, sir. It has been a pleasure.
Pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.